Hey,
Welcome.
Kingdom Messengers, how are
How are
you?
you guys doing?
So good to see everyone is jumping on today. Full disclosure, we have declared personally between the two of us and the Lord that this is going to be our best training yet. So you guys showed up for the right training today. We believe people are going to be ignited and not just motivated and inspired. Those are great things, but what we are believing for is there's going to be activation and acceleration happening during this webinar today. So we're very glad that you are here. Thank you for trusting us with some of your time today and coming on for this training. It's going to be really good.
It is going to be good. And we have some awesome content to get through today. We're just going to let everybody get a minute because we just went live everywhere. So we're letting everybody jump on Zoom here. Wherever you're watching, wide open, anyone can join Zoom today. We've never done that before. So if you're watching on YouTube or watching on Facebook, just look in the description and there'll be a Zoom link there for you. And if not, you probably got it in your email. So just jump in there. Kind of preaching to the choir because everybody who I'm talking to is already
We're looking
Zoom,
at those on Zoom. I see some thumbs
Yeah.
up. I see some waves. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments where you're tuning in from. That's just for fun. We love to see who's tuning in and where you're tuning in from all over the world. Again, this is just such an incredible display of the beautiful tool of technology that we can leverage as Kingdom Messengers to connect with each other and connect with our tribe, no matter where we are, no matter what time zone we're in, no matter what's going on in the world. And Lord, we're so thankful for the gift of technology.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Maybe we'll just talk through quick what we're going to be covering today. So while you guys are jumping on,
set your expectation on what we're going to be receiving.
I see you've got someone from the Caribbean.
Can I come visit?
Can we come visit? Yeah, we've got Decatur, Texas, Raleigh, Durham.
Hey, Nigeria. So fun.
That's awesome. So cool.
Bahamas.
Just let us know. That's cool.
We're in Atlanta. We're tuning in live from Atlanta.
That's right.
If it's your first time tuning into a Kingdom
Messenger,
South Africa. Hello.
Was it late night for them? 6 hours? Yeah, 9 p.m. Not too bad. So awesome. Ontario, Canada. That's awesome. Well, welcome, guys.
Virginia.
Welcome. Guys, we're so excited to talk with you guys today. We have put together everything we know about being a Kingdom Messenger into one training for you guys. So we figured this would be, just pack it full of content. And if you have been in a challenge before, if you have been in a workshop before, or maybe you just kind of saw a video from us, or maybe you saw posture, this is going to be a great teaching to kind of take you from like a high level overview of everything about being a Kingdom Messenger. And we wanted to take it up a level in 2022. And so we've tried to refine some stuff. We've got I think we've got a really good roadmap for you guys as far as outlining how you guys can reach 10,000 people, get your tribe, your Kingdom tribe, to grow it to over 10,000. So that is going to be the goal. Here we are believing for abundance. We're not coming at this with a scarcity mindset.
No.
And so, this whole training, we feel very prompted by the Holy Spirit to put this challenge out there to get 100 Kingdom Messengers at least with an audience over 10,000 or more. And I think
because that is reaching
1 million people each week,
each day. Like, how cool is that? If you're meeting us for the first time, part of our story is, and I'm not jumping ahead too much, but I just wanted to say that part of our story was when we entered into last year, 2021, I had a podcast, I had a video ministry that I was doing online, and we felt like the Lord had given us some options for what the year ahead could look like. And he said, look, you can spend time on your channel, growing your specific Kingdom channel to get it to 1 million, and there's nothing wrong with that, or you can start to multiply yourself into other Kingdom Messengers. There's people out there that want to be doing this as well, to be leveraging the digital landscape to disciple nations. They have a message stirring in their heart, and it's time for it to get out there. You can gather that tribe, begin pouring yourself into them, all that you've learned this past year, and you guys together can reach 1 million. And I said, I want to do that. That just sounds so much more fun to me. I don't want to be alone. Pioneering alone is not fun. Pioneering with other pioneers is much more fun. It's hard, but it's good. And so that's why we are here now.
We're excited. So, couple fun things for today. Like, we are going to do some training. We're going to pack in as much as we can into probably about 45 minutes to an hour. And then we're going to give some chance for some Q&A. So if you guys have questions, you guys are on Zoom, we'll pull you on. You can ask some questions. So anything we're going to talk about today, write those questions down, put them in the chat or something, just so you can remember. And definitely use the chat. Whatever, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Zoom, use the chat. That's kind of like a whole discussion going while we're training. So that's a great place to just drop questions, because there's a lot of awesome Kingdom messengers here.
Questions and things that are resonating with you, because it makes you an active listener, not a passive one when you start engaging. And so we have found that the chat is really helpful for just activating us during the call.
That's awesome. Yeah. We're going to also give away some prizes today, because every time we gather, we're just like, why not?
We want to sow some seeds into your ministry, into those channels that you're building online. So we're going to do that as well.
So very quickly, we have a whole gear list of recommended stuff. And gear is probably one of the things that everybody needs. And it's so we're going to resource you guys. We're actually going to give away 2 of these light kits today. So it's really cool light kit. It's a single light. You put it up in the room. We have a single light right now that's doing all of the light that you're seeing here. Very good setup. It's got an app and all kinds of stuff. So we're going to give, I think, 2 of these away, and then we'll probably give some like Amazon gift cards away. Because you're
always needing something from Amazon when you're putting together gear and studio.
Exactly.
And upping things every week. So yeah.
And if you don't have Amazon where you are, we will get you.
We'll figure it out.
Like,
we'll figure it out.
We have, I think, successfully given prizes to almost every country imaginable. So shout out to Tamara and Landrum on our support. Yes. Like, they make stuff happen, and that's awesome. So I think we can jump in. I know we've got some people here now. We've got people who watch the replay. So
welcome.
Jump in. Okay, so today we're going to be covering how to grow your kingdom tribe from 0 to 10,000 in 22 without being a techno geek or having to learn the latest TikTok dance. So
praise the Lord. Hopefully, if you want to dance, you can, but you don't have to. So hopefully that already breaks you off of some wrong thinking. Oh, and if I have to be popular on the internet, it means I'm doing crazy dances, or I have to be a techno geek. Absolutely not. No
not
way.
At all. So we will, let me pull this up here. And so we wanted to specify, like, who is this training going to be for? Maybe you're an author and you wrote a book. This is going to be definitely for you. Mm-hmm. Maybe you're a pastor and you're preaching every Sunday and you're wanting to figure out how to leverage your time and your message online. And maybe you're a coach, a life coach, and you want to help disciple or mentor people online. This is going to be for you.
For sure.
Or you may just be on here because the Lord's been speaking to you about sharing a message online, and you just want to know the best way to do it.
How to do it.
Getting a lot of head nods.
Yeah.
That's good.
So you might be an existing messenger offline. Maybe you are online. Maybe you've written a blog or you're doing some stuff, but you want to scale, or maybe it's not getting the engagement or reaching the tribe that you feel called to. So this is for you, okay? Yep. No one's disqualified here, and we believe that you're here for such a time as this. Today is the day where there's going to be breakthrough. There's going to be some fuel on the fire, so to speak, and there's going to be activation and acceleration, like I said. That's what we're believing for, and that's what we know is going to happen. So we're declaring that over you today.
Exactly. So we're going to be covering today how to use social media to build your ministry rather than distract you from building your ministry, or
discourage you from building your ministry, which I think for a lot of years, social media served as a discouragement tool for me. Then it was a distraction tool, but it's actually a tool that we can use to actually build our ministry. And that might be a mindset shift that you have to make right now, today, that no longer am I going to look to social media as a distraction or a discouragement. I'm going to take authority over this tool and use it powerfully to build my ministry.
That's awesome. I love it. And so let's go in. So we mentioned if we're meeting for the first time, let me clear this off so you can see our little girl there.
Sweet Hannah Lee.
And this is our family. We live here in Atlanta. We have, as our business, we've been serving content creators for over 12 years as a business. Lindsay launched her podcast 2 years ago, and we've figured out a way to combine the tech side from what I'm doing, tech automation, and leveraging all the digital side with Lindseys' heart for content and preaching the gospel. We've merged those things together into this new platform, and then combined with some coaching and other things, we've added the marketing element of how to scale this at scale. So it's that is who we are. I don't know if there's anything else you want to say.
And that is why we are here. That is the journey. It's a very short, long story made short. That is why we are here today. We've been serving content creators for all of those years, secular and faith-based, online and offline. But just in the last year, the Lord has really given us some synergy within our own dynamic of what He's placed in both of us, and we feel called. We feel moved to empower other kingdom messengers with what we've learned, and hopefully take the things, the wins and the mistakes, so to speak, and accelerate your journey.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about how we got here.
This is very important because I think people are tempted when they sit on a webinar with us to think that we tried one or two things and it just worked. And we're somehow extra special.
That's not true.
Because that's not true. So we want to be very transparent, because that's what good mentors, good coaches do, is they have gone the way, they want to show you the way they've gone. And so this is how it started for us, okay? We were online messengers. We had a passion. We were helping basically for a long time. And we loved this role, but we were helping the church that we were attending, our local church, move to the online space. And eventually kind of became our roles to be like the online campus pastors. And we were feeling personal ministry as well stirring in us. So we were starting to leverage the digital landscape, though at the time we didn't really know that was what we were doing. We thought we were just experimenting and playing, and trying things. Yeah. So I started a blog.
Yeah.
I was not consistent. Okay. It was a pop-up blog. I posted every couple months, and it took me hours, but I poured my heart and soul into it, but it didn't go anywhere. I wasn't consistent. My friends and family enjoyed it. They were very supportive, but I was hesitant to promote myself. I was hesitant to show it to people beyond just my friend group. And so it went nowhere. I tried to do a podcast before I did a leadership podcast. And I don't know if you can see this on the screen.
Yeah, right over here.
But this was my launch. I just went on and I said, I'm trying something new with Anchor. Listen in as I share about, and I talk about leadership.
This was
in 2017. I had 16 likes. One of those was my husband. I had 2 comments. I think one was my mom. The other might have been my grandma. And 1 share, which might have been Bruce, right? So and because of that, I just was like, well, I guess no one's interested. So I did 1 or 2 episodes, and then I just let it fall to the ground, right? Because anyone tried that before? You tried to launch the podcast, or you tried to do the blog, and you're like, well, I guess you gave it a week, or you gave it a month, and you're like, I guess it's going nowhere. And you just kind of let it fall to the ground. Yeah. A lot of that was insecurity in me as well, because I was so hesitant about self-promotion, right? I know a lot of us who have grown up in the faith-based world, we hear a lot about you want to be humble, you don't want to self-promote yourself, all of that stuff. So I had all of that in my head, and I had a really hard time breaking through that barrier to actually trust the Lord and trust what He had actually placed in me to share with others. I had lacked confidence in what He had placed in me, and therefore the things I was putting my hands to kind of fell to the ground because I was holding them too loosely, if that makes sense. I was just kind of putting it out there and hoping it would work. And then when I didn't get the feedback that I was expecting or I wanted, I just assumed it wasn't meant to be. And then I also would do some public speaking and some preaching at my church. I had some wonderful opportunities to do that. Some of those videos would get on YouTube as well. Yeah. And I launched another blog with my friends about, in our 20s, about highlighting things. So I kind of had tried all of these things, but I wasn't consistent. So that's important to remember. And I wasn't doing it with a confidence of trusting the Lord in the message that He had placed in my heart. I was just kind of trying it very casually, too casually. And I was still treating social media as something that was speaking to me allowing it to speak a message to me instead of me speak a message to it, if that makes sense.
I like that.
So
and share, like, this picture brings back memories of you preaching, because you're sitting down at a table. Do you want to share the kind of the story behind that?
I really, as part of my story is I struggled with anxiety, but maybe a lot of you guys can relate to this. Public speaking of any kind, put me into a state of panic. Like, I would get sick before I went on stage. I would have to come down after I got off stage and let the adrenaline flow out of my body. Like, I was a wreck.
It was spiritual warfare.
It was spiritual warfare for sure. I knew this much. I had words in my life about being a communicator. I had words over my life, prophetic words that people had given me that I felt were from the Lord, that I was called to reach people. In fact, I had prophetic words. People said, I see you in front of arenas. And you're like, that's great. But the thought of that so paralyzed me that I knew that I needed to say yes. And I would step out and I would say yes. And that's really important, to step out, past the fear, even in the midst of dealing with fear.
Yeah.
But that girl on stage versus the person that I am fully now, it's such a transformation.
Right.
And so part of that transformation actually happened in the last 2 years of becoming a kingdom messenger online. And we will talk a little bit about that today. So if you're here today and you're like, I'm here out of strict obedience because I'm dealing with some fear. And I'll tell you this, Lindsay is an introvert. A lot of people, that surprises a lot of people. They're like, how can you be so animated in front of a ton of people? Look, I am one with Christ. You are one with Christ. Okay. So everything that's true about Jesus is now true about you. And we are becoming more and more aware each and every day through our journey with the Lord of who we actually are. And this journey that I've been on the last 2 years I have had a sharpened awareness of who I am. So anything that you're seeing today where you're like, wow, that's really impressive, or I don't think I could ever do what Lindsay's doing. Yes, you can, because it's Christ in me and it's Christ in you, who is walking out your life journey, who is partnering with you in the ministry that you are called to, reaching the people you are called to reach. So please let that set you free today. Let that truth sink in and set you free today. I don't ever want to pretend that this is all done out of our own genius and excellence. And this is truly what you're seeing here right now is a testimony. And this is going to be you to your tribe, to the people that you are going to be reaching online.
Absolutely. And just that it was that shift from knowing that you're called, right? And maybe you're called, maybe drop it in the comments, just say like, I know I'm called, or I am called in the comments, just because a lot of us, we get words, we have the Lord speaking to us, stirring our heart to say, hey, you should be sharing this. Like this whole Kingdom Messenger, tribe and movement that we started came because we felt like, hey, we felt called to serve Kingdom Messengers. And for us, for many, many years, and I'll show you like kind of some of what's happening in Bruce's world as well with this. But we were very behind the scenes, right? Like this is one of my first YouTube videos.
Doesn't even show his face.
Doesn't show my face. I don't know why I thought that the green Matrix looking film like effect was like very cool. This was in 2009, I think. And I did a tutorial on like how to play a certain worship song. So that was like my first like YouTube thing in 2009. And this was us, like we were behind the scenes. We were in the tech booth. We were the ones like that no one saw, that just wore black the whole time. So you would sort of disappear into the black background. And for years, like that was Lindsay and I. Like we were the tech team. We led the tech team. So we were training people. We were installing cameras and lighting and sound and all of that stuff. But we were very behind the scenes, right? And so when you see Lindsay starting to preach in some of those pictures, that was very new for us. Like we went from like being behind the scenes to and we were doing this in ministry as far as just serving the church, but also our business was very much about what I was doing in business was very much about serving content creators and ministries to do video production and produce content. And so again, all behind the scenes. So I would serve on a Sunday behind the scenes, behind the camera, and then we would be back like Monday through Friday, sitting in an office editing stuff behind the scenes. So very much behind the scenes. I just wanted to emphasize that.
Very comfortable.
Yeah.
very comfortable thinking, but still dealing with a tension of this is not all there is. It's not wrong what we're doing. We loved that season of our life, but we had the point is we had something else stirring in us. And we felt like it was more public facing. We felt like it was a personal message that the Lord had given us to share. So all of that was stirring in us, and we were living in this tension of the now and the not yet. And we felt like the not yet was coming, and it was requiring some activation on our part to say yes, and then confidently start walking in that direction. But we were comfortable. And so when you're comfortable, any type of movement out of that comfort zone is not comfortable, right? And so the Lord was teaching us and with us in that journey that you don't need a comfort zone when you're in relationship with me, who is your comforter. You're not called to live a comfortable life. You're called to live a comforted life and find your comfort in me. And so that's what started happening as we started entering into 2020.
It's awesome.
And here was the mindset shift that we had to make. If we could whittle all of that down into one singular mindset shift that changed everything, it was that we are not consumers, we are creators. When it comes to ministry, specifically ministry online, we are not coming onto the digital landscape as consumers anymore.
Right.
We are coming onto the digital landscape as a creator. So we had to see ourselves that way. We had to start identifying that way, right? The choices that we made, the way that we took action online, the way that we engaged with social media moving forward, the guardrails we even put in place, or like own personal boundaries of how we're going to use social media and when we're going to use social media, all came through the lens of I am now a creator. I am no longer a consumer.
It's good.
And so we want to invite you to make that mindset shift today. You are no longer a consumer. You are a creator. When you step onto the digital landscape, you're doing so as a creator, one who has authority, one who is one with Christ, one who has a message that is not meant to be stuck in your heart, but is meant to be out there transforming other hearts.
That's awesome. I love it. And that was one of the biggest changes from us, going from consumer to creator. And so let's just kind of fast forward. That was kind of 2018, 2019. It was
2020 that I launched my podcast. I said, okay, so, this is what we're doing.
And again, you can see the step it took from us going from behind the scenes to now stepping out into like, okay, now we're going to be the messenger now, not just supporting the messenger, which the Lord knew what he was doing, right? Romans 8:28, like he knew that all things work together, like, because we needed all those like over a decade of training and stuff to be able to get our stuff launched, but now also to sit on this call and help you guys get launched. So you guys are getting the benefit of that. We didn't see that, in 2018. We're just like, we're going to be behind the scenes forever.
The rest of our lives. This is great.
So Lord had other plans. And so he's combined everything that he's blessed us with into this. So
I want to show you a picture of what that mindset shift actually did. Okay. So you saw kind of the pictures of the blog and the YouTube videos with not even our faces on it, and me sharing at our church to, a couple hundred people, which is a great sized group. But that was what was going on. And quite honestly, doing it doing it scared, right? So like getting sick before I get on stage, all of that stuff, to when I made that shift, that mindset shift, and I started walking in that direction, this is the size crowd that I am reaching every single week.
It looks like this.
This is what it looks like.
So this is what Posture reaches every single Monday.
Every single Monday.
We step out. Lindsay launched. We've just crossed over 100,000 people following her across TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all the platforms. And we literally started, when you started your podcast, we started with nothing. We literally started a brand new account with 0 followers, 0 subscribers, 0, everything was at the beginning. And we started right from the beginning, and we implemented a lot of the things we're going to be teaching you guys today. And we just kept up with it. We've stayed consistent. And by we, I mean, Lindsay's been creating content, and we've been marketing it and publishing it, promoting it consistently. And just showing up, like just being consistent for our tribe. And all of this kind of leads to how you can grow your tribe to over 10,000, because this is something that we believe. And we said 10,000 because hopefully that stretches you. Okay. Hopefully that's like, oh my gosh, like 10,000 people, that seems like a lot, like that. And so I just wanted to put that out there that this is definitely possible. Like what we're doing here is possible. And so we showed you the picture of the audience here. And the other thing is, this is what Lindseys doing with her posture. And of course, now we're actually resourcing Kingdom Messengers. And as we mentioned, like our vision is to equip hundreds to reach millions. And so we're wanting to reach 1 million people with the gospel each week.
At least. That's just our first, right?
At least. And we have, so far, we're currently reaching 215,782 people every single week.
With our Kingdom Messenger
collective. The whole Kingdom Messenger community. So we are on mission. You guys can see what we're doing. But this started where I'm like, us just having an idea, sitting behind the scenes, Lindsay having a weekend where she launched her whole podcast in a weekend. And we had no idea, like, what was in store for us. And I think a lot of you as well, as you guys are launching and stepping into new realms and new levels of trust with the Lord, like you guys have no idea. Like if someone was on a call and they're trying to tell us this, we would not have believed them. And maybe you don't believe us now, and that's okay. But we're still going to speak that life over you guys and speak that the kingdom is full of abundance. Like, and we have to think big. If we're going to reach people, if we're going to disciple people online, we have to start thinking big and not be satisfied with just reaching a couple hundred people on our immediate, like personal profiles. And so this is something that it takes skill. There's things to learn. There's tech to learn. There's content strategies to learn. There's marketing skills to learn. We understand that. And so we're going to hopefully break some of that down for you today and kind of walk you through kind of a step-by-step guide on how to do that.
Absolutely.
Cool.
So a digital landscape is a mission field like no other. It is a mission field. It's not the only mission field, but it is a very unique mission field in and of itself. And it's one that many of us are stepping onto every single day. We're utilizing it. Many of us are just doing it as consumers. We're allowing it to kind of move us, tell us what's worth talking about, speak to us. But what we want to start to flip the script on is that it is our mission field. And as we step on there, we're doing so purposefully and with great intention. And that social media is not a distraction. It's not a discouragement, but it is a powerful ministry tool that right now is being massively under leveraged. It's being massively underutilized. And that's what we're trying to change, because we believe that social media is a weapon. And it's right now in the wrong hands, right? And it's being used as a weapon to steal, kill, and destroy from people's lives. But social media in the hands of sons and daughters of God is a skilled sword.
Yep.
And we are not cutting flesh and bone, right? That's not where our war is. We are cutting to the root of it, which is the real enemy, Satan. And we are cutting off things off of people's lives, and we are setting them free. And that is what we want you to be expectant of today. Yeah. And as you walk out into the digital landscape every day, that this is actually my mission field.
Right.
And I'm utilizing social media as a weapon, as a tool, a weapon against the kingdom of darkness, and a tool to set the captives free.
That's awesome. I love it. So for that, we're going to dive into 3 keys that are actually going to help you leverage the digital landscape. So these are 3 core ideas that we want to share with you guys that I think is going to help just position being a kingdom messenger for you guys in a new way. So the first thing we'll dive into here is that you have to know the land you're living in.
You have to know the landscape.
You have to know it. And so the same way as if you're, pioneering something, any map, any chart, anything that you can get your hands on, you're going to want to know what is coming up in the landscape. You want to know what's working, what's not working, where are the pitfalls, where can I end up spending a lot of time and wasting time. Some of you maybe wasted time on social media trying to get the video posted a certain way. Things not working. You finally post it, nothing happens, no one watches it. We have gone through all of those things. Okay, we feel your pain, and
if you are a missionary, like if in a physical geographical location, you know that you have to learn the culture, right? You have to immerse yourself in the culture, know the language, know how things are done, know the social nuances in order to connect with people and make an impact in their lives. And so it's really important that we start to know the land that we're living in on the digital landscape. And so we're going to share a few things that are about the digital landscape that you may not know. And these are pretty fresh too. For in the last few years, the pandemic has changed a lot of things, even in the digital landscape, because so many people have moved online. So we want to share with you kind of what is going on right now on that landscape. So you can take the first one.
Absolutely. So the main concept here that's happened, especially online, is we've moved over the last few years from what we call like a push to a pull kind of marketing strategy, the way people consume content. Before, the old school method was if you wanted to communicate and market stuff, you would put up a billboard, you would broadcast a radio ad, a TV ad, you would put something in the newspaper. It's just me pushing stuff out to you, and hopefully something sticks and something lands somewhere. And maybe, it's just you sitting kind of broadcasting stuff, or maybe you people just need to check the broadcast idea out. So that's where we say social media is being underutilized by so many people in the kingdom, because it's just pushing. It's just taking that same kind of worldly marketing strategy and just pushing content out, like, here's a thing, here's a scripture, here's a whatever. But there's actually a way to create content and value for people that is in this new method, which is the pull idea. It's the opposite of that. It's your audience is going to YouTube, or they're going to TikTok, and they're searching for something in particular. They are looking for maybe it could even be something practical. They're looking at how to fix their dishwasher or something. So they put in the make and model of the dishwasher. There's some tutorial. Some guy has his phone and he's kind of very shaky, bad lighting, you can barely hear what he's saying. He's explaining how to do it, and we sit and we watch that video and we learn how to do that. It's me saying, hey, I need this piece of content. I'm pulling it down from YouTube. I'm watching it. I'm consuming it. It's helping me solve my problem. And then I go on to the next thing.
So they are looking for value. They're looking for their questions to be answered. They're looking for solutions to their problems. Yeah. They are, whether they're doing it consciously or sometimes subconsciously, they're coming to social media because they want to escape. They just want a break. They need a mental break. They are still coming looking for value.
Yeah.
And so the audience, and this is how the platforms are built now, is to serve the audience, because the platforms like YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, they want people to stay on their platforms.
Yeah.
And when the way that people stay on their platforms is the people are getting value, right? They're getting the content that they're wanting. They're getting value from the content that they're watching. That keeps them from bouncing off of YouTube and trying something else, or bouncing off of Instagram. So that leads into how these algorithms are built, how certain content creators are being rewarded on these channels by getting their, content pushed to the top, so to speak, or put in front of more people. Is it's the content creators who are adding value to their audience.
Right. And so the other thing that we kind of focus on here is, speaking of the platforms, that there's also they're no longer age or industry specific. So
this is a big deal.
Yeah, if you thought that maybe being on TikTok was TikTok was for 12-year-olds, it hasn't been that since 2019. The fastest growing demographic on TikTok is 38 to 55. And the really cool thing about this is cool. The help and advice category is on TikTok in particular is a top 10 category for that. So giving life advice, giving help, anything, encouragement,
inspiration.
It's one of the most popular forms of content out of the top 10. So
it's not dance videos.
It's not dance videos.
It's not just silly stuff. It's actually meaningful content that's connecting with a specific audience, where they're at, and giving them kind of what they want so you can give them what they need.
I love it. So
yeah. Consistency is key. You might have heard me in the beginning of my story saying I wasn't consistent. Again, the platforms, just speaking practically, are rewarding consistency. They're rewarding the content creators that are bringing fresh content, that are showing up consistently, serving their audiences. And so when YouTube and Instagram see that you're posting on a consistent basis, you're going to be rewarded within their algorithm versus popping in every, a couple times each month, right? Because they don't know if you're a serious content creator, if you're about to quit your account, right? So when they see that there's consistent things flowing, and it's not just important for the algorithms in the practical sense, it's also important for you as a content creator, because consistency does something for you. It's helping you get your creative reps in, just like going to the gym, right? You're getting better with your tech skills. You're getting better. We say consistency is key and good content will flow. I have found this to be so true. the episodes that I recorded a year ago are nowhere near, in my opinion, as impactful, as sharp, as well done as the ones that I'm doing now, 200 episodes later. Because as I continue to show up each week, I got better. My message got clearer. I became sharper. I began engaging with my tribe, hearing feedback, hearing the language they were using when they were asking their questions, being able to then speak and bridge gaps of understanding that I just didn't even have the feedback to know to even speak to those things, right? So everyone wants to wait to do the one perfect video. Like we just want the one viral video. Yeah. And I actually, this is not just a, Kingdom Messenger issue. This is across the board.
All content creators.
All content creators. I was on a marketing team years ago, and the kind of the top-notch thing you could do as a marketing team back in, say, 2017 was like get a video to go viral. Like that's what everyone wanted. Like get one of your videos to go viral on YouTube, and like you have made it. Your sales will sing. Like it'll be a game changer for the business. We did that as a marketing team. One of our videos it's like 22 million views, and we're like, we did it. For maybe the next week or two, it was like awesome, and we were getting more leads coming in for our sales team, but it really did not move the needle on the business, because the thing with viral videos is that they're viral. They hit a very broad audience, and it may not be the audience that is your right customer if you're in business, or even the tribe that you feel called to reach, right? The demographic, so like, it's great. You've reached 22 million people in a week, like woohoo, except for it may not be your who. It may not be the person that the world in which you're called to reach. And so we found that in the business world, it was like, it actually didn't do what we thought it was going to do, which was like make the business scale. Because it was just a viral video that everyone like watched once or twice and shared with their friends, but it wasn't making an authentic, consistent, because it was a one-hit wonder, connection in order to build a relationship that we could then begin engaging with those customers long-term. And so this needs to break off any perfectionist mentality off of anyone that might be struggling with this, of like, I just need to have the one perfect video, get like thousands of views, and then I'll feel like I'm a serious content creator, and then I'll do this Kingdom Messenger thing. No, it's going to take you starting to be consistent, even if there's 2 views, right? Even if there's no comments, continuing to show up every week, because you are getting sharper as a Kingdom Messenger. Your message is getting sharper, and you are planting seeds of consistency for the long haul as you begin to gather your tribe and engage with them online. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about this, because this is where I was stuck for so many years. I did not take consistency seriously. I thought if it's meant to be, it'll just happen. And when it didn't, I let that be a stronger word over my life, and the prophetic word that the Lord has spoke to me about being a messenger. So I'm no longer doing that. And I don't want you to do that either.
So guys, you can see there's an incredible opportunity for you to grow your ministry in 2022. Hopefully you guys are getting excited about this.
This year, guys.
Yeah, this year in 2022.
Not in 5 years from now.
Yeah. So if you're getting value from this, and this is helping with some mindset, go ahead and put like a 1 in the chat. And if you're like, I don't know,
I'm not quite there yet.
I'm not there yet.
You can
I'm
be
working
honest,
on it.
2.
You can put a 2. That's totally fine. We're seeing a bunch of 1s. Everybody's excited.
2. Okay, Ken. Thank you for being honest. Thank you.
2. That's good.
Thank you. We're going to continue to talk about
this. We're only on key 1, so we've got a long way to go.
Lindy is at a 5. I appreciate the honesty.
A 5.
That's okay. We are here for you guys. We're here for you. We've been there. We've been 2s. We've been 5s. It's time for us to help you cross the threshold, if we can today, to get being a 1 and having this connect.
That's awesome. Okay, so key number 2.
Okay, I want to take a breather. I know we're throwing a lot at you. This is important because it might not sound kingdom. It might sound counter to what you've believed before about ministry, but we think this is a really important key.
Yeah.
And that is, we believe you should build your online tribe before you go and try to build your ministry. You should build your online tribe before you try to go and build your ministry. So here's how it used to be done. I'm gonna plant a church. I'm gonna rent a building. I'm going to start the nonprofit. I'm gonna start getting the whole organization. I'm gonna get my team, and then we're gonna get our tribe together and start serving them. And it's tedious. It sometimes falls flat. It's frustrating. It's exhausting. It leads a small team often to big burnout. And we think that a way to avoid all of that is to start focusing on building your tribe online before you go and try to build like the big ministry.
Yeah.
So this is what we did. We did not start out trying to build like kingdom messengers with thousands of people. Like what happened was I stepped out onto the digital landscape and I started sharing my message. I had a particular audience in mind and I said, my message is for them. And I just began to be consistent with sharing that message. And as the Lord does, he started pouring his multiplication effect and started birthing even new dreams that I would have been way too overwhelmed to receive before I had stepped out onto the digital landscape for something like Kingdom Messengers. Hey, this isn't just about what I'm doing here with posture. This is about a much bigger thing about having other postures, other Kingdom Messengers all over. And so that's why we really believe that this is a mindset shift that will unlock a lot of ministers of the gospel from insecurity, from stuckness, from feeling unsupported, from feeling burnt out. Because what if you could connect with the very people you're called to reach through the whatever the organization is that you have in your heart, or the ministry, or the the building, or the system, or the structure? What if you just started reaching the people, connecting with the people, serving the people with your message, serving the people with your online presence, and then from that tribe comes the structure, the system, the organization.
Great. And guys, this is not, like I said, this is something that is a new way of thinking, not just for ministry, but for business as well. And it's so crazy because it's so counterintuitive. Like you can actually go build an audience and a tribe for your business before you even got a product. And that's kind of shocking to some people, that you can get people excited. They can be part of your journey. They can kind of figure stuff out with you. And
can we share the story? Because I think it would be a good illustration.
So I have a friend who's a pilot, and he's making a watch specifically for pilots. It's like an exclusive watch just for pilots.
He's had this idea for a while, and it's always been one of those, hey, one day when I have the resources and the time and the money, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go launch this product.
And so we were over at dinner with them, just casually chatting, as you do in a dinner about business ideas and ventures. And so he just shared this. He's like, hey, this is my idea. And he's like, one day I'm going to like raise a bunch of money, and then I'm going to do this thing, and I'm going to like, go and try and make this happen. And I was like, well, why don't you start now? Like, why don't you start this week? And he was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And we unpacked kind of what we're talking about here. And so that was a couple months ago. We ended up I meet with him once a week, and I've been helping him with this. And so before he had a product, before he had a company, I think he had even registered like
no logo,
an official logo or a business entity or anything. He had an audience of over almost 2,000 people already listening to him. And he had put out a survey to ask pilots that he ran some Facebook ads to, and said, hey, if you're a pilot, I'd love to get your feedback. Can you take like 4 or 5 minutes and like fill out this survey and then get back to me? And he got like almost 2,000 responses from this in just a few weeks. And so now he has 2,000 people on his, list that he can now, email, he can reach out to,
from, actually build a product they want.
And people are taking time to fill out paragraphs of ideas and feedback and, hey, what about this? And so he's got very passionate people that has started to form in his tribe, and he's still like figuring out like the logo and figuring out, the product and all of that. So I just wanted to share that. Even on the business side, it's the same thing with your message. Like, bring people along in the journey, make it part of the experience. Like, just let people know, hey, I'm launching this thing. It's new. Like, let me know what topics you guys want to hear about in this. I would love to answer that. Your tribe is there. They're online and they're available and they're ready for you. They're listening for you.
Yeah.
They're waiting to have questions answered, to have advice, to be encouraged, to have hope. Right? Like, we need that more now than ever with everything that's going on.
Do you know that you have a tribe? Like, do you know that you have a particular group of people that you have been born to reach? Because I think that maybe some of us don't realize that. I think that we think we're called, all we know is we're called to reach the world. And so we're out there trying to reach the whole world, right? And it's generic and it's messy and it's overwhelming and we're not quite sure what to do or where to start. But actually, you're not called to reach the whole world. You're called to reach your world. This was big for me. My mentor, Pedro Adeo, told me this, and it changed the way I do everything. He said, you're not called to reach the whole world. You're called to reach your world. If you were called to reach the whole world, there'd be no reason for anyone else to be here because you've got it all. You've got it covered.
And let me tell you, like, maybe some of the people you see online, the Christian leaders, pastors, bands, like, they're not reaching the whole world yet. So don't think that just because they're
doing it that you don't need to.
Or they have hundreds of thousands of followers or millions of followers even, like, there's still space. Like, we all have to be reaching our world to make this work.
Absolutely. So if you don't know that already, you have a world to reach. You have a tribe of people that you are called specifically to reach, that you have favor and influence, God-given favor and influence to impact and to minister to and to help transform their lives. And they're online.
Yep.
They're online.
Yeah.
You don't have to get on a plane. You don't have to worry about if there's a pandemic going on or if there's a travel ban or if you're in California and they're in the Middle East.
Yeah.
People are online that you're called to reach. And that's very exciting because never before in history has that been true. Oh. The time that we are living in, I know that some people are choosing to look at this time as a very scary time to be alive, but I'm telling you, as sons and daughters of God, we were born for such a time as this. Mm-hmm. I feel so honored that the Lord would entrust me for this point in history. I refuse to let fear cloud my view of what's happening in the world right now because I am looking at what's happening in the world through what's happening through the lens of the kingdom of God.
Yeah.
And what's happening in the kingdom of God is the world is being transformed into the image of Christ. That is why he came. He came to give us himself. In Genesis 1:26, God's primary purpose was to make man in his image and likeness. That is still his purpose, and he is doing it through his sons and daughters, his kids that look just like him here on earth, calling more into the family of God, to be a part of the family of God for such a time as this and eternity beyond.
So good. Okay, so back to our notes here. So we build your online tribe before you build your ministry. I know a lot of people, maybe you're stepped out into church, done a small group. Maybe your audience is starting out looking kind of like this.
Maybe you have 50 followers already.
50 followers. Yeah. I want to just encourage you guys. So if we were like doing a small group or a church meeting, like this is probably a common scene, right? To speak to.
And these are real people. That's not a small number as far as like, it's not an insignificant number. They're people that are being reached, but maybe you've been tempted to think that this is all that you're going to reach in your lifetime. This is all I'm going to do.
So potentially, like, let's say things pick up and you want to scale this now, like, and let's say you're a church, like a church of 1,000 is huge. Like it's heading into like mega church territory. And so we want to encourage you guys and stretch you guys to think about 10,000 people.
This is 10,000. This is what we think that you can be doing this year.
In 2022. So imagine just for a second, let's just take a second and just say like, we're in March. We got 9 months left.
Yeah.
Like this is something that you could do this year, like before Christmas, you could have this audience and start and think about, obviously the numbers are there and they're helpful, but it's numbers, these numbers, we track the numbers because it's tracking impact, right? It's tracking who you're reaching, who you're helping, who you're bringing hope to, who you're encouraging. It's not just, oh, cool, I have like this cool audience and people should listen to me. It's, hey, we're actually bringing the gospel, sharing gospel to our specific audience, not just any 10,000. It's 10,000 people that think that you're awesome and you're bringing hope and you're bringing this encouragement.
Because they're your world.
They're your who, yeah.
They're your who. They're who you've been called to reach. So this is something that we want you to be thinking big, not because numbers are important, but because people are important.
That's good. I like that. You should write that down. That's awesome. And yeah.
I want to break us out of something, okay? I want to break us out of the belief that obscurity is your security, because it's not. There are seasons of hiddenness, which are wonderful. The Lord does amazing things in hiddenness, but there's seasons of hiddenness, not lives of hiddenness.
Say that again.
There's seasons of hiddenness, not life, not a whole life of hiddenness.
Yeah.
And I thought obscurity was my security. I had placed my sense of protection and belonging and provision, not on the Lord, but in this sense of being hidden, being behind the scenes at all times, not showing my face. If I was showing my face, it was a big deal, right? And I needed to break out of that mindset. I needed to believe bigger. I needed to believe in someone bigger than the protection of, honestly, flimsy obscurity. So if you're here and you're like, I'm feeling real good with just, here's the thing. We all want to feel a sense of humility at a level that the Lord has not called us to.
Ooh. Ouch.
And so I'm not I'm speaking to me 2 years ago, right? Because there were so many barriers in my mindset. It wasn't that I was lacking the skill. It wasn't that I was lacking the message. It wasn't that I was lacking the help, because the Holy Spirit is my helper. All that I was lacking was a belief in the very thing that the Lord had told me I was called to. And so I allowed other things other than Him to keep me, quote unquote, safe, protected, feeling some sense of spiritualness, because I thought, well, this is just me being humble. And guys, we have to break out of this, because there's a world out there, a world that we're like tiptoeing around every day as we scroll through social media as consumers, that need that the glory within us. Romans 8 says creation is longing for the sons of God, the glory in us to be revealed. That's happening on social media every day. Mm-hmm. And it just breaks my heart to see so many sons and daughters of God on social media, not even realizing the glory that's in them and realizing the tool that they're carrying in their hand.
Yeah.
Obscurity is not your security. So if you're seeing 10,000 and you're like, oh, that's too many.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah. And I just want to encourage you, like, I'm put this picture up again. The Lord has a different plan for you. That's all you need to know when you see this picture. The Lord has a different plan for you if that's where you're stuck. So I want to jump in as well. One other thing that we really love about the tribe concept is that building a tribe helps you leverage your time. So we did a little analytics a couple weeks back and found out, Lindseys typically spends between 5 and 7 hours a week on her episode. She does one long form, like 5 to 15 minute piece of content every Monday for her podcast. And then it gets chopped up into other little clips and stuff for TikTok. But we spend about 5 or 7 hours a week investing. So it does take time. This is not something we just like show up and just kind of flow. Lindseys writing down word for word what she wants to say. She's editing it multiple times. She's rehearsing it multiple times. And then she delivers it multiple times. It's a process. It's a production, right? But that content gets consumed 500 hours every week. So there's over 500 hours of watch time happening across all of her channels each week. So she's putting in 5 to 7 hours and getting almost 100x return on her time invested. That's crazy. And so if you're busy, if you're like, I'm too busy for a channel, like this is the fastest way to like leverage the small amount of time you have to reach the most amount of people. And here's the cool thing. Once you post these videos, they're not just up there for a couple days or a week and then they sort of disappear. The platforms and the strategies we're teaching you archive these videos for the future so that it will future-proof your ministry. This is really, really cool concept. Basically, you are investing deliberately into your time and energy into this, and the content you put out is going to be accessed maybe months and weeks from now, weeks and months from now, or even years. And some of Lindseys' most popular videos that is being consumed this month in March was stuff that she posted over a year ago. And it was the most watched video on her platform this month. So it's got nothing, it lives outside of time in that sense, and that you're creating this archive of content that can be consumed while you sleep, while you play with your kids, while you play with your grandkids. Like there's a way to do this that from my perspective, like this feels like rest, right?
Right.
It feels like rest.
This is very redemptive for me, because before in ministry, I brought myself to a place of burnout. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've been there, but it's like, hey, you have such a desire to serve people and you only have X amount of time in your day and your week. And we often push ourselves beyond what we actually have because there's always a need. right? When you're in ministry, like there's always a need to fill. There's always someone to talk to. There's always someone to encourage. There's always someone to connect with. Do the coffee, do the mentorship, do the discipleship group, do the preaching, all of that stuff. And so I was doing all of those things, good things. But the way in which I was doing them was not from a place of rest. I was feeling the need to like push in order to make an impact, and it led me to a place of burnout. So this is the Lord, right? He's such a redeemer. I had to come out of that style of ministry and breathe for a second, and it felt like such a loss. It felt like such a pain. It felt like such a disappointment. I thought I had let the Lord down. I thought I'd let the people I was ministering to down when I had to step down and step out for a little while. But the Lord wasn't planning on taking me out of ministry forever. As a good father, he was giving me a place to rest and to breathe and gain fresh perspective. So as I've come back into ministry, I am doing it from a place of rest, and he is redeeming the time, guys. I'm doing 5 to 7 hours on my posture episodes, but I'm getting 100x return because there's about 500 watch hours every week. I'm preaching while I sleep. I'm reaching people all over the world 24/7, not because I've gotten on a plane and I'm traveling every week and I'm burning myself out and I'm sacrificing my family time, but because of this beautiful tool of technology that I believe the Lord has given us to leverage for such a time as this.
That's awesome. That's so good. Cool. Okay, hopefully you guys are getting value. That's the end of key 2. We're going to jump into the third key here.
And this is really some steps that we're going to start sharing.
Yeah, so now we're going to get into like the actual tactics. I know some people have been watching the comments here. People are asking like, hey, are you going to show us this? Are you going to show us that? I'm going to show you right now.
We spend time on the mindsets because the tactics with the wrong mindsets don't work.
Yes.
They're just another thing for you to do, and you'll put them by the wayside because it will just feel like another should, not another like opportunity. Right. So we have to talk about the mindset shift before we go into the steps we need to take with that new mind.
That's great. And so the way we've structured kind of this framework and this roadmap of sort of what to do is we've put it into kind of a 90-day plan. So if you're going to commit kind of the next 90 days to this, you can do a lot in 90 days. You can be in a totally different place. You'll see a lot of research and stuff as far as forming a new habit, new lifestyle. It takes about 90 days to make it totally a habit where you don't even think about it anymore. And I think, we want you, this is the key 3, go the next 90 days to grow your channel each day. So it's getting 1% better every day. If you're a fan of Atomic Habits, this is a concept that's very popular right now. Like, take just a little step each day. It's not you spending late nights and trying to figure everything out and spending a lot of resources and energy into the wrong thing. It's taking a little step deliberately with accuracy every single day. And so the way that we do it is we have a roadmap that we put together, and we're just going to walk you guys through that roadmap, like from start to end. Okay.
Can I say one more thing?
Let's do it.
Okay. I really invite you to pay attention, because this is not something we just made up. The last 2 years we've experienced a lot of growth. Growth can be painful. We've pioneered a lot of things. So this represents, in the last 2 years, I'm going to be very transparent, okay?
Yeah.
$65,000 of personal coaching and development, courses, mentorship, coaching that we've paid for to be poured into, to be coached, to be sharpened. That's what we've done in the last 2 years, just for ourselves personally, because we took this journey very seriously, and we knew that included some investment in our own personal coaching. Before then, we never invested in coaching. We just always tried to figure it out on our own and kind of bootstrap things. So I just want you to know, this has cost us something. It has cost us some midnight oil, okay? Yeah. It has cost us some very late nights and early mornings. It has cost us, saying no to things so we can say yes to growing, sharpening, getting better, learning things, actually spending time on the courses that we've purchased versus letting them sit on the shelves. This has cost us something. This is the gift of mentorship, is that we've been mentored, so we know. They go and they clear the brush, and they make it faster for the people coming up behind them. So we have cleared the brush because we've made mistakes. We've spent time on things that went nowhere, okay? We've spent hours on things that we had to kind of throw away. Mm-hmm. So this is what we've sharpened in the last 2 years through our own journey, through our own trying things, being coached, investing in ourselves, and we're sharing that with you. So this is precious to us.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to be like, okay, like here's another thing I can try. Like, take notes. There's some steps here, and there's an order in which we've made the steps that, like, we didn't take this order, okay? If I were to do it again, this is the order in which I would do things, but we had to kind of figure it out as we went.
Yeah.
So,
and only thing I want to add is that you were all worth it.
Oh, 100%.
Like, so what, like all the investment that went into it, we would do that multiple times over if we knew what was on the other side of it. Exactly. So again, just to position that, because we don't want to share this all with you guys like, oh, there's an interesting fact, and go on with our lives. Yeah. A lot of us will forget that we had this call today. So we want to go through it. So just that's kind of just to set the stage. Okay, so let's dive into month 1. So let me pull this up. We're going to go through each month like this, each one. So we're going to go through month 1, we'll go through 2, 3, and kind of work our way through it. So in month 1, the thing to do, and you guys can go back, you can take screenshots of this, you can take notes, the recordings will be available. We're going to go through a lot of information quick. And so that's it. So let me clear me off the screen so you can see everything. So first thing you want to do is go ahead and just register accounts on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Anchor.fm. If you don't know what those are, you can go on YouTube and search for them. Basically, you just want to go ahead and what we call is like name and claim your account. So if you have a name, a ministry name or something, just go ahead and register those. You may never get on TikTok. You may never get on any of those, all of them, but that's just something to go ahead and do. So claim those just so that you have them. And then if you do want to have it, you're already got that name and you don't have to change it. So be consistent. We recommend if you don't have a ministry name, just go ahead and put your personal name, or you can say your ministry name with, and then your name. So it could be like Posture with Lindsey Van Zale or something like that. Make it personal. You're not trying to be this huge faceless like organization that's like a massive nonprofit, whatever. You're just trying to be you sharing your content. So put picture of your face on the profile picture, put your name in the title, make it personal. Yeah.
People love connecting with people, not brands.
Love it. So that's the first thing, is just launch. The next thing you want to do is just leverage the tech you own. So what we're not going to do is tell you to go out and buy $1,000 camera and lighting and all these good things. Those certainly help, but you don't need it to start. What you can use is if you have a smartphone, if you have a webcam, if you guys are on Zoom right now, we can see your webcam. Like, you've got the tech you need right here. Okay. You don't need fancy editing software. You don't need to be a graphic designer or know how to do any of that. You just need to, most of you know how to take a picture or a video on your phone. That's what we're talking about right here. It's very, very simple. The key here is for the content. The content will always wins. We say valuable content wins every single time. And that means that if you're sharing wisdom, if you're sharing life, giving truth, people aren't going to care about those details.
About your lighting.
It's funny because when you start, like, that's all we care about. And we spend a lot of time like refining this and getting a setup and stuff that like works really well and looks good. But it wasn't always the case. Like when we first started, Lindsey had a really expensive light source. It's actually one of the best light sources in the world, and it's called the sun. And so when we first like set up, like this was our dining room table, and we used the sun, just this window, and that was what lit like all the first 100 episodes of Posture was this big window. And it's pretty funny because if you go back to the first ones and you kind of fast forward through it, like clouds will go by, so it will get like really dark, and then it gets really bright. It gets like it's like it looks like she's like in heaven, and then it gets like super dark. So if you kind of like watch it, it's pretty funny, but it worked.
Nobody ever commented on the light.
Even times like we were even traveling a few months ago, and we set up a little studio in like a Airbnb that we were in, and we posted it, and I got to where it was editing it, and it was just like, so I don't know what happened to the colors, but you could see, and we looked at it and we're like, we could reshoot it, or we could, like, there wasn't time. So we just like posted it. And like out of this huge audience, which I think you were maybe 70,000 around that time, not one person mentioned anything about, oh, it's like it looks bad or anything. It was all about, I love this scripture. Thank you. I needed this today. Thanks for, being consistent. Thanks for sharing. Come on. So that's kind of how it works. I just want to encourage you guys, don't sweat the small things. So the other thing here is to leverage short form content. So maybe we just did an awesome like TikTok challenge back in January. And the goal was to get people their first 1,000 views on TikTok by sharing the gospel. And we've seen a lot of those people in the weeks after that event pass over 1,000 followers already on their TikTok channel. This is the fastest way to get 1,000 people to follow you is on TikTok. And we highly recommend leveraging short form content. So what this means is you're delivering 60 seconds of value to your niche daily, if possible. If you can do it daily, awesome. And just think about it. It's way easier to share 60 seconds of wisdom than 10 to 15 minutes of wisdom. And think about, like, if you have to practice speaking to a camera, you'd much rather speak for 60 seconds, right, than speak for 15 straight minutes and try not to say or or forget what you were saying, or, misquote a scripture.
So, and people who are meeting you for the first time online are way more willing to give you 60 seconds of their time before they give you 60 minutes. Exactly. So this is why a lot of us want to come on here with the really long sermon, and we're just hoping that people sit with us for an hour, but people are getting to know you. And there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of information. There's a lot of other things that are getting people's time and attention on the digital landscape. So if you're willing to do the hard work of making some short, concise messages and getting those in front of people, that's going to start gathering people to what you're doing, so that later, which we'll talk about, when you want to do longer short form content, people are listening and engaging, and you're serving them with your content. You're not just pushing it at them, but you're giving them what they're pulling for.
That's good. Awesome. And just to be clear, like, short form content, we mentioned TikTok, but Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, it's the same type of video, same type of content. It's just on an Instagram platform or YouTube. So TikTok came out, it was like the new kid on the block. Everybody wanted to have that type of content. So both Instagram and YouTube created their own version of TikTok. They call it Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts. So check those out. Again, you can search some of these tutorials on YouTube. There is some even on the Kingdom Messenger YouTube channel. Lots of little like how-tos and stuff on that.
And this is how you multiply, right? One clip, several different platforms. And the platforms right now are really rewarding short-term form content because they're competing with each other, right? Instagram wants you on Instagram, not TikTok. So they're giving a lot of space to the short form content. Same with YouTube.
And I'll just quick story. Lindsay was around 5,000, 6,000 Instagram followers for about 18 months.
Yeah, almost the full 2 years.
And then from in 3 weeks this January, she went from 6,000 to 49,000 followers in like 2 or 3 weeks, just because of Instagram Reels.
No ads,
no paid ads. We added 44,000 people to her platform, to her followers in a couple of weeks for free, just because of Instagram Reels. So if you're creating stuff for TikTok, repost. Like, we call it cross posting. Like, take the same video and just upload it in 3 places. You've already spent all that time creating the video the one time. Just upload it on all these other platforms. So another quick case study here. Marianne Judson, who's one of our coaching members, started her TikTok here in January, as you can see, and she grew it to 1,315 followers in just a couple weeks here. And she posted, you can see this video down here at the bottom has like 2,228 views already. And very, very cool. And I saw Walter also post, he had 2,200 views on his second TikTok,
amazing,
which is crazy.
Walter.
Guys, that doesn't happen on other platforms, right? Like, that's amazing. And so if you try to get that many views on YouTube, it's very difficult.
It's a longer game.
Again, we're giving you the strategy to save you guys a lot of time. So you don't have to make the mistakes we made, because we went the long and hard way. We went straight to YouTube. We didn't do anything on TikTok first. And so now we've kind of shifted how we would do this. And we would start with TikTok right up front. Okay. And I want to leave a lot of time for questions. I know we've maybe got like 5-10 minutes. We'll run through these last things and we'll open it up for questions.
So that was month 1.
That's month 1. Month 2. So next thing in month 2, we wanted to basically essentially go to the next level. And that's where you can start to incorporate some long form content. And so you can then upload that long form content to YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and see what we meant by long, like 3 to 8 minutes, right? The length of a song. That's what Lindsay's like guide for the all of posture was, like, want to be less than a song, not a Bethel long spontaneous worship that's 14 minutes long. I'm talking about like just something that's, it's at 3 to 8 minutes, something that fits well. People will give you that much time, but it's you'll find you can share like one quick like idea in 60 seconds. One quick, hey, here's a quick scripture I like, just want to encourage you today. 3 to 8 minutes, you can actually start to teach, hey, here's the 3 things that
about that big idea.
About the big idea. And you can start to add more value, because really it's not just about getting content in front of people and having them follow you, right? It's about discipleship. It's about training. It's about bringing your kingdom message to this audience and bringing hope and encouragement where you go. So this is long form content. And we'll just throw out this as well. Like, this is stuff that we teach in our coaching stuff. So vidIQ, just take a screenshot, Google it. It'll be super helpful.
I will say one thing really quick about the short form content, because we have gotten some pushback on this, because people are like, but I like to do like a hearty, like 30-minute teaching or 60. And I get it, guys. I'm a preacher teacher. Like, I want to spend some time. It's not that you can never do that, but the way that the algorithms work, and quite honestly, the way the people's attention spans today and the way that people are consuming content, the shorter, the better. So you might be laughing when we say 3 to 8 minutes is a long format content. You're like, not in my world. This is what it is on the digital landscape. Mm-hmm. And so we can't despise that. We can't say, well, people should want to pay attention. People should have longer attention spans. This is just what it is. So we, as kingdom messengers, and a way that we serve people is we're going to get creative. We're going to engage with the spirit of wisdom and say, you know what? Actually, I think I can take 60 minutes of content and do it in 6 minutes, because it will serve my audience. I'm going to take out all the extra stuff and get to the meat of it and start transforming people there. I'm at a point now, 2 years later, where I am starting to do longer format things like 20 minutes. And of course, on Kingdom Messengers, we do like 1.5-hour webinars. Like, again, it's not that you'll never do those things, but I have built some relational trust in order to do that with our audience, and in a way that they'll stick with me and they'll receive. They won't zone out. And this is what's important. We just want people to pay attention, but that's not maybe where people are yet. So as good leaders, we're going to help them along to get where we are. And a way that we do that is the way that we serve our content to them.
Awesome. Next big thing for month 2, launch Instagram and Facebook ads. So it's time to go big, as we say. So this is where what we say is add fuel to the fire and grow your audience. There's ways to target niche interests on Facebook and Instagram. And what this does is, if people are not following you, it will put your content in front of them as if they were following you, and give them the option to start following you. So a lot of people just don't know. As we said, like, sometimes you're in obscurity and you have to kind of break through that to get known, to get in front of people. And we're talking about like maybe $5 a day. You can run it for as long as you want. And it's just slow and steady. You just leave them there for as long as you want to. And maybe just share a little bit on the mindset of going, because this was a struggle to start running ads.
It was a struggle, guys, because I had this belief that if it was meant to happen, it would happen. If it was meant to be, it would just happen. I had the prophetic words. So that meant that it was just going to happen one day. I thought that living in rest meant inactivity and passivity, because that's how I was living, right? Like, it's just going to happen. So hands off the wheel. When really a lifestyle of rest is partnership with the Lord. It's restful because we're in partnership with the Lord and we're activated by that partnership. So we have to take action. So with that in mind, this was one of the things that I had to take action with. I'm sure most of us know the kingdom principle of sowing and reaping. Sow into something so you can reap, right? I got that, and I engaged in that for everyone else's ministry except for my own. I was totally willing to sow into everyone else's ministry, time-wise, financially, word of mouth, cheering them on, except for when it came to my own. I felt like, I don't know, that felt self-promotional. That felt like I was maybe pushing things I shouldn't, because maybe I'm trying to make things happen. I had the prophetic words. I had the desire to do this, which I felt was planted from the Lord. And the opportunity was in front of me, and I was still hesitant because I thought, well, that just isn't what I'm used to. I had to take on a new mind about this. This is a digital landscape. Things are done differently, okay? One of the things that are done differently is there are some algorithms. And in order to get past some of the, quietness on social media, is you got to pay in order to get ads in front of people. And I had to love my who enough to make that payment. And I had to trust what the Lord had given me in order to sow the seed in my own ministry. Yeah. So Bruce helped me break through that, because I was like super hesitant. We're definitely not doing that. And so he said, look, you're willing to give to everyone else.
Yeah.
Until it comes to your own ministry. Why do you not believe in what you're doing? Yeah. Like, what is the deal?
And the embarrassing thing is it was like $5 a day for like
guys. So it wasn't like I was dropping $5,000. I was struggling to sow $5 into my own ministry.
Like, and that's the thing is like, how much do you believe in the ministry? Like, do you really believe the Lord's given you this message to share? You believe the prophetic word? So it takes some boldness. It takes some courage to step out and to start to promote that thing. And again, you're not promoting yourself. You're promoting this message the Lord has given you, and this strategy and bringing that hope. Mm-hmm. So awesome. Okay. So the last thing for month 2, we'll just quickly touch on this, but just we want you guys to get organized, right? So start to create templates for things. If you're editing slides or editing your videos, just create templates, right? At this point, we've done so many episodes. It takes us like less than 10 minutes to edit Lindseys posture videos because we have templates, and we use tools like Notion and other planning tools to like manage our content. There's a great Notion template you can get from our YouTube channel for free, where it helps you get started. So you can I've got my title, my description, and kind of what do I put, and how to just organize those ideas. You don't want to ever lose great ideas or things that the Lord's starting to talk to you about. You could keep those. And some of you, if you've got a journal or something that's your system to capture that, that's great. Just all we encourage you is stay organized, because around this time that you're kind of like, what have I got myself into? Like, I am creating content. I'm spending hours and hours a week. Like, it's not, it's not making any traction or anything just yet, because it's a ramp up. Like, there's a lot of sowing before you get that the reapings kind of starts to happen. So
there's no mystery to it. It's not like it has to be a certain way. We all are wired differently. We all like to organize our thoughts differently. It's really making sure that you're documenting what you're doing. So if you have an outline for an episode that you just did, or maybe you're like me, you like to write things word for word, but maybe you like to work up an outline, just make sure that you're organizing that in one space so everything is easy to find. Because when you're 5 months down the road, when you're 1 year down the road and you want to reference thing, you don't want to be thinking, okay, was that on my phone? Was that in my journal? Was that on Google Docs? Was that in Notion? Find one, and we would encourage it to be digital, just because if the house burns down and the journal gets burned up, it's somewhere digitally, right?
But and you're going to be copying and pasting things into YouTube, so it's better to have.
So that's all it is make sure that you're taking it seriously enough to start organizing it, not thinking like, okay, well, when I'm like a year into this, then I'll start like going back and like gathering my notes and putting them all in one place.
Awesome. Okay, so that is the second month. So we're going to jump into here. Yeah, our month 3. So in month 3, we're going to start focusing on like optimizing the posts. So there's a few things you can do to actually optimize these posts. So you're posting things. This is particularly a tool. I mentioned vidIQ earlier. We love this tool, and it basically will help you get more people organically to find your content. There are keywords you can add. There's SEO stuff you can do to it. But the goal here is that if you're going to take the time to get one post out, you may as well get hundreds or thousands of people to watch that one post than to keep like just posting and posting and posting. So you want to keep that idea of leverage. You want to optimize every post, knowing when to post it, what times a day, which days are best, and get the maximum kind of exposure when you do actually post that. Because you've put hours of work into this post. Now you want to make sure that like we get as many people to see it.
And the good news is you use vidIQ for YouTube, and with YouTube you can go back and edit. Yeah. So you can add tags later. So all the things that you've just been posting for the last 2 months, you can go back and start to optimize.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you all that stuff is untouchable and then you just have to start from scratch again. So you're able to kind of go back and start utilizing vidIQ to find keywords, to find things that people are searching for in order to tag your videos so that they are findable.
Yeah, people can find them. The next thing here as well, we're going to talk about analytics. Similar lines here, but you want to start tracking like how long are people actually watching the video. So if you put out a 10-minute video, people only watching 2 minutes, that's not good. Like you're having 8 minutes of you having to teach and prepare and edit and publish that people aren't actually watching. And you can see on this graphic here that we kind of look at where like 65% is. Like we want to make sure the watch retention is around 65%, meaning people are watching at least 65% of the video. And so there's a lot of things you can do to structure your content in such a way where that actually pulls people in to stay to the end to get the last thing. And there's some strategies there just because it helps. Essentially, if you have a 10-minute video and you only getting people to watch the first 2 minutes, and then you put like a 1 minute like introductory like little animation things, like you're going to lose people. So it's like when we first start, we say just start raw. Don't have intros, don't have music, just keep it start, and you should be talking right from the first second that comes up. There was a bullet point from the short form content, but we said focus on those first 5 seconds, like hook people with the first 5 seconds. Hey, this is the scripture that changed how I thought about peace. And then share what you want. Because now everybody's like, oh, what is the scripture that changed how you think about peace?
So many of us are tempted to start every episode with, hey, I'm Lindsay and I'm living in Atlanta. And, I'm just so excited to be here with you guys today. And we are going to start talking a little bit about something that's very important to me. Yeah. And people are like, I thought I clicked on this to hear more about peace, right? So you want to jump into the content immediately. And then when you look at those analytics, they're going to start speaking to you. They're going to start telling you things like, okay, how much are people watching? If they're watching less than 65%, maybe that means you need to pull back on those longer videos and just do some 2-minute videos. Okay, are they watching the 2-minute videos all the way through, or at least 65%? So this is where you're going to start pivoting. You're going to start trying new things. You're going to start pioneering new things. One of the analytics that was really fascinating for me that helped me pivot was when I started, I was posting long format content 5 days a week. So I was doing like a 5 to 10 minute episode Monday through Friday. You can imagine the toll that took on me. I was just very passionate. I wanted to like be there for people every single day of the week. But when I went and looked at the analytics, I realized I was getting a lot of views on my beginning of the week episodes, not so much on the end of the week episodes. And so I began to realize, okay, I think it's too much for people. I don't think people really have 10 minutes to give me every day because they're, hearing from other voices. They got busy lives. It seems like they're starting their week with me. Like after the weekend, they're coming in, watching my Monday episode, maybe my Tuesday episode. So I started to scale back, and now I only do one Monday episode to kind of help people start their week. And I'm utilizing that episode to also do some short form content, clipping it up. But it's like definitely helped my process. I don't have to do 5 big episodes every week. Well, and my who is still being served.
Yeah. And I would argue that you got all your creative reps in early. In those first, because I think for the first 90 days at least, you were doing daily episodes, and that is definitely, we don't recommend that. So
short form is fine, like those 60-second ones.
Those are easy.
That's great for daily. You don't need to be doing 10-minute episodes every single day. That's too much.
Don't do that. So those are one of the mistakes.
And that should be good news for all of us.
Yeah. So take the pressure off. Okay, and the last thing for month 3 is one thing we would encourage you guys to learn up on and research is how to actually make your channel sustainable and through monetization. So there's a lot of ways you can host an online event. You can provide maybe coaching, one-on-one coaching for people in that specific topic. Maybe you're a pastor or a counselor or something. You could offer a way for people to pay to have like a time where they can jump on Zoom and get coached or discipled on a one-on-one, personal Zoom call. Maybe you have a book or a course. I know we have a lot of people probably here
who authors,
maybe written a book, maybe you've put a course together and you just don't know, like, maybe you thought like, well, if I just put this course together, like I'll build it and they'll come. Like I'll build this amazing course and it'll be amazing and people's
that's like the ministry.
Right.
And we first need to start building the tribe, because so many of us want to just put all of our time and effort into the book, into the course, and be like, ta-da, we'll build it, they'll come. But we haven't spent the time to connect with the people we're called to reach. And if you do that first, then when you introduce this course or this product or this book, you've got a tribe that's like at the ready, because you've been pouring into them for free, right? And been giving them value, and they're totally willing to take that next step with you and continue on their journey. I think about my mentor, Graham Cook. I call him my mentor, and people think that means I'm meeting for coffee with him every week. It's not. He started mentoring me online through the videos that I found of him on YouTube. And it was like, hey, this guy is teaching me a lot of amazing things. Like, can I connect with him? Like, can I continue with him? Does he teach any courses. And so then I found that he does something called Brilliant TV, which is this online community where he posts his long format content in his courses, and he does mentorship. His team does mentorship and stuff. And it was like, that was the next step. But if I had gotten a Brilliant TV ad, or someone was like, hey, you should get on Brilliant TV, you should subscribe, and I didn't know who Graham was, and I never experienced any of his ministry or content, I wouldn't have been, even though it was what I needed, I wouldn't have known that, because I would have had no connection point with him. So you can see the progression of the journey of connecting with your tribe, connecting with who you're called to reach, I think and it's much more easier on you, the content creator, because when you're putting time into things, you know that it's actually reaching people, and you know that it's versus like, I'm just going to spend the next 6 months building this course, and then I hope someone like takes me up on the offer. So many people do that, and they're burnt out by the 6 months because they've had no connection point with their who, which is so like encouraging and engaging, and you're getting feedback in real time, and you're ministering, and you're being poured into, and you're pouring out. All of that's not happening because we think it's going to happen at the finish line of this big, amazing like ministry we're building, versus building as we go and as we connect.
That's really good. That's awesome. And so, guys, let's just kind of recap here. We wanted to, hopefully this is inspiring you. We want to go back to this. The digital landscape is a mission field like no other. And we believe social media is a powerful ministry tool that has been massively under leveraged. And so hopefully in this training, we're helping you think of how to leverage this amazing tool and this opportunity that we have as Kingdom Messengers in 2022, and how to do this in a way that is working out of rest, and it's not going to kill you in the process, right?
Take you out of ministry in the process.
And mindset.
The mindset shift is you're no longer a consumer, you are a creator. It's going to take time. It's going to take effort. It's going to take investment. It's going to take research. It's going to take you getting out on the digital landscape and walking around, but you're doing so as a creator from this point forward, not as a consumer. Yeah. So every step you take on the digital landscape is with intention, it's with authority, and there will be transformation for the people that you are called to reach, because you have made this mindset change, and the mindset has become a lifestyle.
Awesome. So if you guys are feeling inspired, maybe drop a 1. If you're like, meh, it's okay, drop a 2. We'd like to know. Let's see how many people are honest in the group. So you guys are getting some value. That's awesome. Okay, and we're not done yet. I know we'll probably go another
we said 10, we're going to do 10 some
minutes,
Q&A.
Maybe 10, 15 minutes. We want to do a couple things. We're going to give some prizes away. Yes. We're going to do some Q&A. So if you guys have some questions you've written down, get those ready. We will ask you to put up your Zoom hand, and we'll be taking questions really from Zoom. So if you've been watching on Facebook or YouTube and you want to chat and ask a question, go ahead and jump now over to Zoom. Use the link to jump over here. And so, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I would say, because I know some people have to leave. This is what we do. We empower and equip Kingdom Messengers. Okay. So we have resources. We mentioned we have coaching programs. We have steps that you can take with us if that's where you choose to want to take action. And so if you would like information on that, we're going to drop the link in the comments, and you can see how you can kind of work with us if you want to take us up on any of those resources. Something that we're excited about, because we love these like 90-day, we have found that something about those 90 days really activates people and accelerates them on their journey. So we're opening up a 90-day coaching intensive where we're going to spend 90 days, and we're going to basically bring you into our membership for 90 days. We're going to be doing weekly coaching. Mm-hmm. You're going to have access to our Kingdom Messenger library of content, which is what is the roadmap. So all of these steps that we've talked about today, there's like deep dives into all of those. There's teachings that we've done on that. So that's available. So if you're interested, you can click the link and find out more. There's an application process, because we're actually only going to open it up to 20 people, because we find that there's something about a smaller group. We're a small team, so we want to serve people well. So we're not massive yet. So we want the intake to be something that is manageable, where people are getting served, in that space. So we're opening up to 20. We already have 2 spots taken. So there's 18 spots for this next 90 days. And there's an application process. There's a $100 deposit for that application. The reason is we need to know that you're serious. It's totally refundable if you choose after the call with us. We're going to do a call. We're going to talk to you. We're going to connect. We're going to answer any questions you have. After that call, if you're like, this isn't what I want, it's all refundable, that deposit. But we can't do 500 calls. So we have to make some kind of entry point for people who are serious, because again, we're a small team. Something that's exciting, if you apply, we're actually have a masterclass for our membership tomorrow. We're going to be talking to one of our friends who's a IP trademark attorney, and he's coming in and doing a legal masterclass for our Kingdom Messenger group, because we have within that membership, we do masterclasses and we do them like kind of several a month on specific topics. So if you do apply, even if you're not quite in the program yet, you're just thinking about it, you will get into that masterclass tomorrow where you can ask questions of our friend who's leading that masterclass. And that starts tomorrow. The 90 days is kicking off April 1st, but we'll let you in early just so you can start kind of gaining some traction. So
did you mention everything that's included in pricing and stuff?
I did not. I didn't. I'm trying. I know really we're up against the time.
Before we do, I know we're trying to cram.
We're going to get it all in there.
I'll just take just a second here, guys, if it's okay with you guys. I'm just going to show you kind of all that's included. I will drop a link in just a minute for this here. So you can go to kingdommessengerworkshop.com/intensive. There's a whole page here, everything we just talked about, how to invest the next 90 days. And this is kind of what it looks like. Is we want to give you guys this roadmap, which is a step-by-step videos, training. There's over 100, I think, hours of video now, like master classes. Everything that you're looking for, you can essentially just type in the search term. I'm looking for TikTok. Okay, here's a whole course on TikTok and how to do each step. The other thing we're going to do is every Tuesday we get on a Zoom call, kind of like this, but in a very small setting, 15, 20 people. We'll jump on live and we'll just take questions. So it's just an open time.
You talk to
Lindsay,
screen.
You talk to me. We have our coaches on there. Monica will be on there as well. And we'll take any questions. So we'll be live, get your questions answered. If you're stuck on anything, we want to help you get unstuck as fast as possible so you can make progress and keep moving forward. And hopefully, we feel like we've invested a lot into ourselves to get to this point. And I hope you guys feel that if we were helping you, maybe the next 90 days would be a little easier. Like maybe you guys would agree that if you're chatting with Lindsay or with me once a week, we'll probably make things a little easier. We also do master classes, like Lindsay said, every on Thursday. So periodically on Thursdays, we will add an extra teaching. So just a deep dive into a particular topic. Those things get recorded, they get added to the roadmap, and people can go back and watch them anytime. So that's that. The coaching. I'm kind of just summarizing things here. The roadmap, everything we just talked about, the 12 weeks. Let me clear this off so you can see it here. 1 second. So you will see that, we talked about how to launch, how to get Facebook, Instagram set up, how to optimize posts, how to do short form content. All of this is in a week by week kind of strategy. So you can just click through like week to week.
We've basically done the hard work of curation, putting the content together so it's easy to find, easy to follow, and so that you're not having to like scour the internet to research everything.
Yep. And so the other thing we've thrown in is some awesome bonuses for you guys. So we have a private Facebook group. So between these calls, if you have questions for me or Lindsay, we make ourselves available to you guys throughout the week. If you get stuck, you tag us. It's a small group. There's about 70 of us in this group, in this private Facebook group. It's different than the Kingdom Messenger community. If you're in part of that, it's 1,500 people. It's a very different group there. So this allows us to focus very specifically on the people who are walking with us in this 90-day program. And so we also give you a dashboard. This is super cool, and I'll try not to spend too much time on this, but we're tracking those numbers, 215,000 people in our community. So we set up a dashboard that looks kind of like this, where you can actually see your, let me get me off the screen here real quick. You can see your growth over those 90 days. This is one of our Kingdom Messengers, Leanne. Hopefully she doesn't mind me sharing this. But we can track like for each account, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and we can track the growth over the course of the 90 days. So we've been in a lot of coaching programs. I'm not aware of any coaching program that also holds themselves accountable to make sure you reach the goals. Because this all sounds great on a webinar and you're like fired up and like, let's do it. But we hold ourselves accountable to help you grow, and we track your growth. We pay someone every Monday to go in and write down, okay, Sarah had 72 followers. Okay, this person had this many followers, and we put it in a giant spreadsheet and we put it into a chart and we send that to you once a week so we can actually track it. So it just builds a level of credibility and accountability into the whole system. Some other cool things as well. We've basically commissioned a worship leader to create some original instrumental music for you. So for intros and different things like that, you can use, there's 10 original music scores. If you were listening to our countdown music for this webinar, that is the same person who put that together. So just to recap, we have 9 days of weekly coaching with me and Lindsay. We have the access to the roadmap, and we have awesome bonuses. So we have 90-day access to Facebook group. We have the Kingdom channel dashboard, and we have original music. Okay, so it's about $10,000 of value, and we've set that up for just 3 payments of $995. If that's something you guys are feeling is something that you're being prompted to, like, hey, I love these people, like I'd love to work with them, we would love for you to take a minute and apply for that. And so what that process looks like I said, we have about 18 spots left for this next batch, and we are trusting the Lord that the right people are going to come to us. So we don't put any unnecessary pressure. We're just making the invitation. If you're feeling this is for you, then it's for you. So we will kind of go through the steps. So step 1, you're going to apply. After you submit this application, there's a couple questions here. It will take you just a second to fill out some of these questions. We want to just get to know you a little bit. When you're done with this, you will submit the application with the refundable application fee. And then on the second page, you'll be a chance to book a call with us. And then we will hop on a call and chat with you and just get to know you for 20 minutes. We want to make sure all your questions are answered. This is not a coaching call, so we're not giving you strategy on what to do with TikTok, but we want to make sure you understand everything that's involved with the coaching program and just get any questions answered and just make sure that it's a good fit for you and it's good for us. And we have turned some people down just because it wasn't the season for them. They had the heart, but we could see that it was going to put unnecessary financial pressure on them, and that's not kingdom for us. So we want to partner with what the Lord's doing with each of you, and if that's to work with us, we're all for it. Does that all sound good? Yeah. Good. Did you mention the deposit fee?
Yep.
So again, we have a small team, so that's why we have the deposit fee, or else we would just be inundated with calls and we'd spend all our time, all our team's time just going through calls. Okay. Prizes Q&A real quick. And we do have a hard stop here in about 10, 15 minutes.
We'll get through it.
The 10, 15 minutes keeps moving. As you can see, it's always 10, 15 minutes from now. Okay. Let's jump over to some prizes. So I'm just going to pick someone at random. We're going to give away, actually, before we do that, let's give away 2 $50 gift cards. If you want to just randomly, because we're going to do it quick, I won't bring Tamara on to help, but why don't we pick from someone right there?
Okay, Ellen Edwards, I see you. We're going to send you a $50 Amazon gift card.
Awesome.
I see Kevin Hyatt. I think that's how you might say your name. We're going to send you a $50 Amazon gift card.
Awesome. So just... we've noted that. I think if you can send an email for anyone who wins a prize, you got to send an email to us, help@kmwsupport.com. Please send us an email. We already know what your name is. So email us and be like, hey, I was the winner. We just need to get your email, maybe your address if we're shipping something to you. And that's that. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is give away this lighting kit. So this is this is about $170. This is what I'm recommending to all creators, kind of a professional. It's one single light, works great. So let's do 2 of those.
Who needs a lighting kit? Can you drop in the chat if you need them? Because I don't want to give lights to someone who doesn't want.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so pick someone from there.
Okay, hold on, go up, go up, down. I think the first person I saw, Jenny Bellinis. You were the first. You said me.
Also, I think you were one of the most
you're so
committed
engaged.
people in the chat. I saw your name.
But you're the first one to comment, so that's awesome.
We'll send that to you, and then let's pick someone else.
Okay, I saw. Hold on, let's see. I saw a ministry name.
It's coming in pretty fast.
I know. I saw a ministry name.
Oh, that's good.
Chosen to Glow Ministries. And you didn't just say me, but you said, here are my favorite points.
So bonus points for that.
So I don't know what your name is, but your ministry name is Chosen to Glow Ministries. We're going to send you a lighting kit. Awesome,
guys. So send us an email, help@kmwsupport.com, and we will we will get that out to you guys quickly to you. So Sarah Backlink, awesome.
Okay, so raise your hand. We're gonna do some Q&A. Raise your Zoom hand. You just go to reactions and raise your hand in Zoom, and we'll start taking some questions.
And I'm gonna do a couple things just real quick to that.
Okay, get set up from the tech.
Stand by. Yes. Okay. So let's do Denise Bear. So I'm going to ask you to unmute, and I'm going to bring you on here.
Hey, Denise.
Hi. Thank you. But question, quick, as far as I've been working with Notion, do you keep any of your old videos, or is it all just digital now?
Any like paper notes, or do you?
Paper notes? Yeah. It's all digital now, because I just found for me, it was too much to keep up with. And it was such a frustrating thing when I was trying to find something to figure out where things were. So there are times like you might have a system where you're like, hey, I just love to handwrite things. That's fine, but make it like type it up and do it in a short amount of time. Because otherwise you'll have like pages and pages of notes that are just sitting there waiting to be typed up. And then it's never really organized.
Yeah. Now, in terms of just your videos, are those all just digital now? The reason why I'm asking is because first I actually shoot the video and then I upload it. After it's uploaded, I know it's on YouTube or whatever forever. Do you keep that same video, or do you
on your computer
on the file? Yeah. So we actually use Google Drive.
Okay.
To keep our video. To like the file, the raw file.
Yeah, I would. There's all of these things have a short answer and a long answer. So the short version of the long answer is you want to own your own content and have an own copy, because for whatever reason, if YouTube deletes your account or you lose it down, or something happens to YouTube, which is unlikely, you just want to be able to access it. So we always have backups of everything.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you.
Good. Awesome.
Great question. Hey, D Price. We're gonna ask you to unmute, and you're gonna unmute, and then you can.
Okay.
There we go. We can hear you.
Hey, there we are. Thank you so much for this. The question I had is there a $100 application for, obviously not the $77 one? I've already got that, but the other two.
Just for the 90-day intensive is an application prices.
Just for the 90-day intensive.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's that. There are some other things as well we have available, like the roadmap and Kingdom Messenger TV. So those are options as well. But yeah, this is the only one just because it's weekly coaching. The roadmap is a little bit more open to anyone.
It's more self-led. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Of course.
And guys, just like if you're getting like prompted to do this and you're like, this is great, I'm still trying to figure out like the money side of it, hop on the call with us. That's something we can discuss. Like we'll work with you to make something that works for you guys where you're at. So if you're, that's all I'll say. Like we will definitely
don't let that be a barrier for the call. Hey, Jenny.
Ellie,
we're going to ask you to
unmute.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
I first of all just want to say thank you so much. I feel like praying a blessing over you all, because it's St. Patrick's Day tomorrow and I'm Irish. So bless you all of you.
I receive it.
I love it.
Yeah. I've nearly forgot my question now. Oh my gosh. Distracted by blessing. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so excited. Thank you for the lighting kit in advance. I was just going to ask you, I mean, very simply, and you probably suggested somewhere as well, but I've been looking into mics and there's so many people recommending different mics. What mic do you suggest?
So that's a great question. In fact, we have a whole, so if you go to kingdommessenger.tv, I'll pull it up real quick. There's actually a link here for gear recommendations. And so there's a lot of options to choose from, and we'll probably add more to this, but this is what we've just done on this list, is just list out the things that we're using. So that like Shure MV7 is awesome. There's a Yeti mic that is also awesome.
That's a lower price point.
Yeah, Yeti, it's like $79 or so. So yeah, I would.
That's where we kind of put all the gear that we're using. We try to put different price points based on what your budget is and what you're using it for.
Yeah, I'll drop as well a link here just for you guys. So we have a lot of recommendations. I'll drop this link here in the chat, and you guys can check this out. This is just like all of my gear. So that's what's on Kingdom Messenger TV is some of it. This is like everything we have in our office, and so there's a breakdown of like every speaker, mic, computer, everything we're using. So if you're looking for recommendations.
And the good news about gear is I think people think about it like it has to be like one, like all or nothing, but really you can add to it piece by piece as you go. So like we started with, you can use just your phone and just the phone mic. We used a Yeti for a long time, and then we upgraded. And like, again, that's like part of the sharpening is like, as you go, whether you're starting to monetize or think people are starting to support you, however it goes, you can start adding to it. So don't feel like you have to sacrifice quality because you can't afford thousands of dollars of gear. Like we think lighting is important. And so, you can use a window for now. Just make sure you're not like sitting in the dark. People can see your face. It doesn't have to be perfect. And sound, obviously, you just want to make sure when you're listening to the video that the sound is not distorted, because that will distort the content and the message. But it doesn't mean you need $1,000 mic.
And I'll also say like each thing that you upgrade, the more complex it is, it is distracting. Okay, that's why we're like, keep it so simple when you start, because you're trying to do so many things at once. It's kind of like when you're learning to drive, like you're trying to figure out like accelerator, brake, steering. It feels like where to look. There's so many things. So just keep it simple. Keep it something. I wouldn't add too much complexity right off the bat.
As you go, kind of add piece by piece, and it'll feel a lot more manageable.
Camera on the newer smartphones in the last 4 or 5 years, the cameras are amazing. Like there are feature films being shot on iPhones and Android devices. So a lot of YouTubers are using just their phone and having millions of followers and stuff, and they never ever upgraded just because it was it's always with them. So cool.
I have like Beats headphones, but I was like, maybe I could just put them down on my table beside where I'm speaking, so I don't have to be wearing them. I don't know if that's
if it's a mic with the headphones, and just have the mic still stay kind of close to you. We actually really recommend, if you guys like the little AirPods, not AirPods, but the earbuds that come with you, like the little white headphones with the white cable comes with your iPhone. That little mic on there is awesome. Like you'll see a lot of YouTubers just using that, and you don't have to put the headphones in. You can just have the mic kind of high up here, close to your mouth. Those are just general
tips. I know, like we kind of struggle with that because we're like, oh, it's visible, but you'll be surprised. Like I think for the first couple of my episodes, like I had my computer in front of me because I was like looking at my notes, and like, again, people aren't noticing those things if you don't make it noticeable. Like if you're not necessarily like, oh, I'm sorry, my mic is right here. Just like start. Yeah, exactly. It'll be there. It'll be visible, but it won't be a distraction. It won't be the distraction we think it is.
One of our coaches, Monica, did for a while, and I think she still does, is like a prayer in the closet.
Yeah.
And a closet is amazingly, with all the clothes and stuff, it's very acoustically pleasant for video. So that's how she did. And Lindsay, in the early days, and not the one that, but you shot some or did some podcasts in a closet just because the sound was so good.
The sound was so good, yeah.
Yeah. So good question.
Thank you. May the digital road rise to meet you all. That's my Irish blessing to you, because I can't say the whole thing. I know you guys don't have time. So honestly, digital road rise, meet you all. God keep you in the palm of his hands. Do all that. Amen.
Awesome.
Amen. Thank you so much, Jenny. It's such a pleasure to meet you.
Reagan.
Hey, Reagan, I see your hand. We're going to ask you to unmute. Let's see.
Let me just bring him up here.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Hey, how are you, man?
Fine, it's out.
You're not on video. So yeah, what's your question?
Hi.
Oh, there we go. Awesome.
So my question is, could you please explain knowing the landscape, one of the 3 keys again, please?
Explain the 3 keys. Know the land that you're living in, build your online tribe before you build your ministry, and spend the next 90 days committing to growing your tribe. Those are the 3 keys. And the replay is available.
Sorry, what was that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anywhere you're feeling stuck?
Knowing the landscape, could you please explain that one just a bit more?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the landscape is to the digital landscape, there's a few things you need to know. I'll give you a few keys. And again, like this is something that you guys can go research as well. Like, hey, what's happening in social media? What's working? Here's a few things that you guys can just like pay attention to. When you're on the digital landscape, it's not about just pushing information at people. People are coming to social media to receive value, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. So they're looking for answers to their questions. They're looking for solutions to their problems. They're looking for encouragement, inspiration. Like that's why they're scrolling on social media. So when we show up as content creators, instead of just pushing information, like generic information that we think they ought to know, we want to keep our audience in mind. Who do you feel called to reach? Like for me, when I started Posture, I felt called to reach millennial women who were already Christians. I wanted to help them grow up in Christ and leave the life of trying to live a perfect life and learn to live in perfect peace. That's what I was doing. So that's between you and the Lord. Like, who am I actually called to? Figure that out. And then as you show up on the digital landscape, serve that audience well by giving them content that is bringing them value. Is it helping answer a question that audience has? Is it helping them solve a problem that they have? Is it encouraging them? Is it equipping them? Don't show up to just push information and to make a post like, okay, I did a post. Show up to bring some value and do that in a format that people are willing to consume. Short form content is a great start. So those 60-second short form content is a great way to start when you're showing up and doing that, and then be consistent.
Awesome. And that's great. And you can definitely go back and watch the replay. This whole replay will be on our YouTube channel. You can go to kingdommessenger.tv. It's the first thing that you see if you want to get to it really quick. It's still streaming to Kingdom Messenger TV now, and the replay will be up immediately for you guys to get back and watch that. And there's a bunch of resources on Kingdom Messenger TV that we just upload for free. So definitely check that out. Mark had a quick question I'll answer in the comments where he was asking about his glasses and the lighting. Couple things here. The main thing with the light is you want to just raise that light and get it higher up. So if there's a lamp or something low, and both Lindsay and I wear glasses and contacts, so this is a problem we've had to face. If the flat piece of glass is here and you have a bulb kind of similar height, then you're going to get that bounce directly back into the light. So what you have to do is change that angle. So raising the light source up is typically the best way. And we actually prefer to not have any lights pointed directly at us. So what you're seeing here is our light is actually pointed at the ceiling, and the ceiling is giving this like nice white glow that's coming down, and it's very soft and very natural looking. We don't need like spotlights shining into your face. That's not really the style. You're not on a stage. We just wanted to make it look realistic. So those are our kits. And then we're going to take like maybe one more question from Stella, who had her hand raised, and then we will we'll have to jump off just because we have another meeting coming up. And we already went a little long. So, and if you guys have questions and we didn't get to them and you're watching this or you're watching the replay, drop them in the comments.
We will try to go back.
Team between me and Monica and Lindsay, like we will go through the comments and reply. So we'll get your questions answered. And so we didn't get to anyone. So
hey, Stella, we're going to ask you to unmute. We'll get a little prompt.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine, Lindsay. I'm Stella from Nigeria.
Hi, Stella.
Yeah, so I come in contact with Kingdom Messenger through an ad on your podcast training. So I don't know, I just wanted to know if that course is still out there, because I think I need to be trained on that. So how do I get to assess the course, the podcast training?
The launch podcast. Yeah, that's a great question.
How do you get to that training?
That's on Kingdom Messenger TV.
It is on TV. Yeah, I will drop a link here.
We're going to get you the link so you can register for that.
So I'll mention as well, if you're still hanging out here. We have three main programs on our site. If you go to Kingdom Messenger TV, there's a thing that says upgrade your account. So there's a bunch of stuff that's just free in here. The podcast workshop is something on our basic level. So you can actually just do this monthly. It's like $9 a month. You could easily get through it inside of a month. And you can click on this and sign up, and it'll upgrade your account and everything. There's also the roadmap, and there's intensive. So this is what we were talking about with you guys today. So those are the kind of the lineup.
So you can get a monthly subscription or an annual subscription, and all the courses are on there. All that launch and the TikTok challenge.
Yeah, the TikTok challenge is in there, and I feel like we are giving away too much for too little, because so we maybe change it, but for now it's in
up there. So
We've had people tell us it should be like hundreds of dollars, but it's $9 right now. So check it out.
It's okay, so I could just get there and access it.
Yes. Yeah. You can access it on the Kingdom Messenger TV with a monthly subscription of $9 or an annual subscription of $77.
Cool.
Oh, that's good.
And if you guys have questions, especially on that, like products and service, all that stuff, help@kmwsupport.com is our go-to help desk. So it goes to our team and we'll get back to you very quickly. If you're looking for something, if you're like, where was that link? I don't know where it is, all that. So that's where you go. But I think we'll end it there.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. I hope that you feel activated and accelerated, and you've got some things that you can go start doing as you walk on the digital landscape as a Kingdom Messenger. Remember, you are a creator now. You're no longer a consumer.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. We will see you guys on the next training. Goodbye. Awesome.